Um, it looks like you're. Oh, yep. Here we are. I thought I saw Mike's muted. I'm your girl, Branlin. I am with my lovely co-host.
Hey y'all, hey, I'm Tia Cooper of Tia Takes the World. I'm so happy to be here with y'all this Good Friday. Happy Friday, everybody.
I know that's right. My name is Branlin again. I am with Never Unpacked. T and I get together every Friday to talk all things travel, y'all. We be talking travel business, travel trends. We be talking about travel hacks. Sometimes we be talking about travel nuances, things that work our nerves and maybe work your nerves too. And then we also talk about our love of travel. So we're super excited to get into today's episode. As you see at the top, it is Fear and Travel. Those of you that are joining us on TikTok, it's at the top of Tia's screen as well. I promise y'all, I'm not gonna be like this next week, okay? I promise. So we're talking about fear and travel, and as normal, we're gonna get into a little bit of a quote. We're gonna talk about that. We're gonna get into a little bit of the topic. We're gonna talk a little bit more about that. We're gonna get into some travel confessions, some celebrations, and then we're gonna affirm all the things that we be doing and we're talking about, and then we're gonna let y'all go for today. So we're gonna move right on into our motivation.
Yes, so the motivational quote for today is a ship is safe in harbor, but that's not what ships are built for. I felt that in my spirit. Branlin, give me your take on that quote. A ship is safe in harbor, but that's not what ships are built for.
Listen, it's this idea, right? That you have something and you make it and you mold it and you build it, and then you just really want to protect it so much, right? Like, so you want to keep it someplace where it's going to be safe and not really send it to where it needs to thrive. And so when I saw this quote, I was like, ooh, that's like, ooh, Mufasa, right? Like, a ship is safe in the harbor, but that's not what it's made for. It's not made to stay there. And I think we have to think about that differently as well. It looks like we got a little bit of an echo, so it might be on my end.
All right, we can work it out. Let's work it out.
Yeah. Is that better? Let me know if that's better on the echo end. But talking about the quote, a ship is safe in the harbor, we want to protect things all the time, but we're made to move past this, right? Like, we're made to kind of get out of the harbor. We're made to sail for sure. Did you have any other thoughts about that?
I did. I actually took a little bit of a different take on it with the a ship is safe in harbor for me. And when things, what they say, when the hit dog, if it hit dog hollers, maybe I felt that for me as in a fear thing. So I feel like that ship being safe in harbor is like me being safe in my comfort zone and the things that I'm used to in normalcy. Like, I do this a certain way. I don't want to do it another way because it's difficult, it's hard, it's scary. So I'm safer in my bubble, in my comfort zone. But I'm not meant to stay in my comfort zone. I don't know about nobody else, but I'm meant for greatness, which means that I have to sail outside of that harbor. I have to sail outside of my comfort zone and do more, be greater. That's what I'm destined for. So that's how I kind of took it. And it motivated me because, like I said, a hit dog will holler. And I was hit. I was a little demotivated earlier this week, but when I read that, I was like, I like it. I love it. I
We
needed
on to something, right?
it. Absolutely.
All right, you guys, we are talking about fear and travel today. It's a very interesting topic, a little bit a different take. Fear is a powerful thing and it can keep us safe, but it can also hold us back. So when it comes to travel, are we actually in more danger, or does it just feel that way? And how did we get there? So I wanted to kind of kick off our show with a question. When it comes to travel, Tia, what, if anything, actually scares you?
Huh. I am always a little bit weary. I love a good true crime, conspiracy thought, train of thought. I'm always very nervous that some major terror, act of crime or violence will happen when I am traveling. I actually have someone that used to follow me. I don't know if she still follows me, and I cannot remember her name. When you started the topic for this particular episode, I was trying to find her, but she actually was traveling, and there was a bomb attack somewhere where she was at. And like she was inside of a cafe, like a regular day, just traveling. And there was a bomb that happened outside of the cafe, and it like shook the cafe. She was under a table and stuff. And she talked about that experience. And I was like, uh, now that you said that, I'm thinking like, what if that happens to me? So I'm not afraid of much. I am a little scaredy cat, I will say that, and this is twofold. I'm a little scaredy cat, but I'm not afraid of much when it comes to travel. Like that would stop me from traveling. But that is the thing that be kind of deep in the depths of my soul. What about you?
I feel like I don't know I'm scared until I'm scared. Cause it's one of those like I don't even think about it, like even when me and Tia have both lived abroad, for those of you that are new to our live, or maybe you haven't heard us talk about travel before, but Tia and I both have lived in the United Arab Emirates, aka Dubai.
Pretty much.
aka Dubai. Actually, we lived in Abu Dhabi, and then I've lived in Dubai. But I came here sight unseen. I had never been to the Middle East. I only knew what the media had said or whatever. So, but I felt like, I didn't have any fear about it. I didn't have any fear until I made it to the airport, and I made it past security, and then all of a sudden I burst out into tears. Because again, I don't think I had a thought of what danger could lie ahead. It was just kind of like, oh, I got this opportunity and I'm out of here. Like I'm about to be out here making this Arab money. That's what they said. Ain't that what the songwriter said? So
that's what the songwriter said, girl.
That's what the songwriter said. But to the quote, or to the question, I just don't think I'm afraid until I'm afraid. Now I do. Now Tia says she loves true crime. I be staying away from that stuff anytime I got to travel. I stay away from it all.
That's crazy, because that's what I listen to on the plane. I will like stack up on my episode. Shout out Black True Crime, Sisters Who Killed. Those are my ones. But no, as scary as I am, it's so surprising not even listen to that stuff. But I also think it makes me a little bit more vigilant, especially when traveling, because when they have things about that on different shows, I'm like, I didn't even think about that. And we are avid travelers. So I'd be surprised when something comes up and I'm like, I never thought about this particular thing. So I love that question. And y'all put in the comments also, when it comes to travel, what if anything scares you? Like, keep it a buck. It's okay if you're a little scared. That's all right. That's why we're here to talk about it. Maybe we can sift through those things.
I know that's right. So now, as you're putting that in there in the comments, and all of you in our replay game, please add it to the comments too. We're gonna move on to like getting into the meat and potatoes of what we're talking about. So our first topic is actually when planes crash, and this is, a very interesting topic, right? And I want to make sure I'm respectful, because there was a major plane crash in the U.S. recently. And there were a lot of lives lost, which was super, super sad. I mean, it almost was very much a fluke accident, right? Like a helicopter and a airplane crashed into each other. That's like something that's just completely unheard of. Even with that in mind, flying is actually one of the safest forms of travel, but crashes, I believe, are sensationalized in the media. So let's start off with the first question. Like, why do people fear flying? What do you think, Tia?
I think it's one of those things, like, I feel safer with my feet on the ground. Like, yes, it's a safer way of traveling. And I've heard those statistics since these particular things have been happening more and more sensationalized. And rest in peace to all of those who lost their lives. But I think it's a thing where I feel safer with my feet on the ground. Like, you're up in the air, and granted, it's safer and there are less things that can happen, but you go it through in your mind, we are very high up. Geez, it's a lot of ground down there. It's a lot of space in between me, the sky, and the ground. And the turbulence, all of the things is, I don't know if I'm verbalizing it correctly, but it just makes you feel just unsafe. You don't have any control also. Like when you're in a car, car crashes are probably more, those happen more, but I'm in control of the brakes. I'm in control of swerving over to get out of the way. Right now, I got the power.
Control all them other people.
Well, I control me. Then that's important. And although I trust the pilots, maybe I should have never saw, what's the movie with Denzel?
I was about to say Final Destination, but
Saturday, Sunday, Monday, and I always think since I've seen that movie, like, what if that's my pilot today? Granted, he saved them people. He was drunk and high as crap, but he saved them people. But I always think about stuff like that. I'm not the one that's in control. How do you feel? Like, are you afraid of that plane crashes possibly happening?
I am one of those. I feel like it's low-key a tricky question. And there was multiple parts here. One, I personally am not afraid of flying. However, I do not consume information about plane crashes before I fly. So I can't watch anything. Yeah, I think so some of the reason I've been flying around 9/11, I was gonna bring that up in just a bit. But all of those documentaries that come out, I'd be like, oh, can't watch this till after I get back safe and sound to my home and my couch in my living room, because I just don't want to put that on my spirit, like I don't want to pour that into myself. I do think I agree with you though, T. I think people are afraid of flying because of lack of control, right? But to one of the things I was saying, you're controlling your car, but you're not controlling everybody around you. You're not. And even on a highway, like I have been 20 cars behind and you can just see the wreck happening. Because Joe Bo swerved this way and Susie May went this way and Louise went this way, now it's a 10-car pileup. And you just like, blinkers, please don't hit me from the back, because there's things you don't see in front of me. And I think that gets crazy, right? It gets a little bit wild in thinking. Also, I think media has a lot to do with it. Do you think media has like a hand in it?
Are you saying with people's fear?
Yes.
Absolutely. I think it's one of those things, like the more you see it, like unfortunately, like school shootings in America, we are kind of desensitized, because granted, it's sad. We feel bad and we don't want these things and we want reform, but because you see it so much, it kind of is like another day in America, what next, because we see it so much. So it's like that with those car crashes and things. But when you see it once for a plane, you like, wait a minute, planes ain't supposed to be crashing. They don't do that. They have safeguards in place. And I think that it's one of those things in the media, because, and I was listening to the Breakfast Club the other day, and they actually hit on this, and Charlamagne was speaking to the point of, because these different sites get paid clicks, and because people are clicking on these different news stories about planes, that's what they're gonna keep on putting out. Now, it could be plane crashes that happen 2-3 times a week before an actual big event happens. But then when that big event happens, they're like, oh, well, let's bring these other ones in here because people are clicking on this stuff. And that sucks. That's kind of sad. It's like you playing on people's emotions. People are scared. People are already fearful. Why would you continue to put that into the atmosphere? But that's what people get paid to do. So
it sells papers if people still buy those. It sells access to these news articles online, and it has people tuning in to the news. Because I think, as much as people just don't like folks to be happy, it feels like, right? So you give them all of this death, doom, and destruction, and it's like, that's clickable. Like, I'm just gonna scroll and go into a whole deep dive. And the crazy part is that you do all of that deep diving, and then you be like, oh, I can't go to this place because of this one particular event that was so made major, and now all of a sudden, like, you can't participate, like you can't go. That was kind of like my experience when I moved abroad. Like, people just, and their perceptions in the US of the Middle East, right? Because my mom's a baby boomer. What they showed baby boomers the Middle East was about, when I told her where I was going, that lady was like, excuse me, for what, for why?
Because what was the saying when we were growing up? Peace in the Middle East. Like, why are we saying that? I mean, I know why, technically, because of what we saw, but that didn't apply right here wherever we were going in the world. Like it's really wild. The media will big you up bad to have you sitting at home.
You know, one of the things, now I always honor 9/11. I remember where, like, I remember when, well, there was a principal in the UAE that said COVID was the first time that the students really, some of them would experience death, like had a, like could touch death. And for a lot of us, it was 9/11, where we, like, if you didn't have people like close to you, like older parents or anybody that kind of had passed away, 9/11 was this major significant event that traumatized us, especially as Americans. I can't speak for outside of America because I'm American, I'm Black American, right? But it was a very traumatic experience. I remember where I was when the first plane hit. I remember going through the school day to seeing the second plane hit. I remember teachers crying. I remember all of these things. But one of the things that I remember most is how much air travel changed post 9/11. And it wasn't just in the US. Like those attacks changed how people go through security. What you can take into their, like, you guys, do y'all realize we ain't have to worry about them little baggies and the 3 fluid ounces pre 9/11. Yes, we were. We didn't have to worry about any of that. We didn't have to take our shoes off. We talked about that last week. We didn't have to take no belts off.
People could walk you to the gate. I remember walking my sister. She has been an expat before as well. She lived in Germany where her dad, he was in the military. And I remember walking her to the gate to tell her bye before she boarded the plane. Like, it was no TSA pre-check. You got to stop right here. Can't even see and walk through the airport. Like, everything changed. Everything.
People used to go to the airport just to eat because the some of the best restaurants were at the airport. Like people just went, like, and I'm talking about, you know, the restaurants that are past security. People used to go to the airport to eat at the restaurants past security.
Oh, that's like
one of our friends, I think Ken has said that. He said that on my post before when I posted 9/11. But life really changed. Like 9/11 changed the entire landscape of how we fly, all because of planes crashing and terrorist attacks, right? So it just kind of took us to a whole new place, and the amount of things we carry, travel, just everything you could put in your luggage just changed. Like what you could carry on your person changed. It was just, it was a wild times. Can you, like, and even it's been what, 24 years?
A long time.
24 years. And we're still carrying that with us. At least some of the
I'm happy.
Regulations
I'm not upset about it, to be honest. I'm not upset about the parameters that were put in place. Like, although sometimes it's like, like I really don't feel like taking off my shoes. I don't want to take off my belt. I don't want to do. But I'm so happy that those parameters are in place, because maybe people aren't as crazy as I don't know if people have gotten crazier now in 2025, or if there was always this crazy and maybe the media has pumped it up or whatever. But I just would not want to go through the airport without all of the parameters that are in place with the people who are existing in 2025. So I appreciate it. I mean, not appreciating 9/11, you know, I'm be clear, but the parameters that have been put in place because of it. We had a comment on Instagram. Cake by the Pound said, when it comes to travel, oh, nope, that's not it. Sorry, y'all. I put a comment back up there. She had made a comment, but that wasn't what came up. Technology.
No worries. Technology. You can slide it back in when you see another little break in there. All right. One of the things that we can move to, though, Tia, is just talking about a little bit the psychology of fear, and are we overreacting? Like, there's a difference between real fear and paranoia, right? Like, can we tell the difference, though, sometimes, anytime? Do you think folks just be...
I mean, I am somebody, I don't know. I'm somebody that I do overreact, or at least that's what my husband tells me, that I overreact sometimes. But that's because he is so, and I think it just depends on the spectrum of who it is that we're talking about and who is doing the overreacting. I feel like I am very, I get to it. Okay. I'm trying to be proactive. I'm thinking about all of the things. Maybe it's overreacting because nothing might not happen. But when something does happen, people be happy to have me doing my overreacting and overthinking. It just depends on the situation, I think, as well, and how you are overreacting to it. Like we had talked about before, is it overreacting to the point where you are not going at all over things that you can't control? Like, are you afraid that a plane might crash, which is something that you cannot control? So are you therefore not going, and missing out on travel versus, something that maybe can be in your control, like keeping up with your passport or not losing your money or something like that. Not losing in terms of not getting like robbed, but like actually keeping it on your person. I don't know. What do you think? What are you feeling?
I feel like people absolutely be overreacting. People absolutely be overreacting.
Mm-hmm.
Even to the point where they be clapping when we land. Like, I be looking around like, why we clapping? Like, this is man's job.
Hold
That's
on.
what you supposed to do.
We watch land
as my mama would say, you supposed to land this bird. That's what you supposed to do.
You supposed to. Yeah, you supposed to, but you happy to get to your destination. If it was a bumpy ride, you like, thank God we made it to the ground. Like, I saw a video the other day, some dude, he was getting on his flight and he was like, the blood of Jesus on every part of the plane. When he got to the door, when he got to the, his seat, everything, he was just praying the whole time. And I'm like, I get it. So I'm an overreactor, so whatever. Talk about us all you want to. We gonna be prepared.
I don't talk about you. I mean, I look at you and I just be, I just hope your prayers don't hit the ceiling. So I just be like, thank you. But somebody got to stay cool, calm, and collected. Everybody can't be like all shook up. Like I would even say, I took some students to Kuwait. And we flew back into Abu Dhabi, and the turbulence was some of the worst turbulence I've ever experienced in life.
Mm-hmm.
Some of the worst. And I went to sleep. You hear me? I closed my eyes and I went to sleep. And we got off that plane and my students were like, Miss Mosby, you just went to sleep. Like, what if we would have been in danger? Sir, we would have all been in danger. We are all on the same flight. And I don't need to see what it's going to look like on the way down. I need all peaceful thoughts. I said my little prayer. I closed my eyes and I left it up to God, kissed it up to God. Okay. Cause that's all I can do in this point. Now there's some people that just be a whole bunch of, woosah. Okay. Cause I don't know what else we can do in this situation.
Fair enough. And when I say I overreact, I'm not saying that I'm the one on the plane like, oh my God, please, get us safely where we go. No, that's not me. I'm an overreactor as in I'm thinking of the next thing that might happen. And I'm like, I might whisper over to you and be like, that girl, what's the plan if? What we doing if? I'm always thinking of something. That true crime probably don't serve me no type of good in these situations.
It don't serve you no type of good. Now we had I'm sorry. Can you switch it back?
Comments. All right, go ahead.
It was Gina with a J, our good friend Gina. She joined us in. Actually, she joined us in on TikTok, hopped over to Instagram. I'm pretty sure she's back someplace else. But she did say she just came back from Iceland. She wasn't scared to fly. Now, Gina is also very much an avid traveler as well. She be hopping on flights. Don't even know I thought her Iceland pictures was old, but that girl was just there last week. This week, maybe.
Yeah, Gina be gone. Gina be outside. Okay. So I love to see that the media isn't placing fear in people's hearts. But on the other end of that spectrum, we had a comment from Cake by the Pound. Here's the actual comment that I was sharing earlier. She said, I get fearful of losing my luggage. I don't know what's going on with these recent flights either. You got to pray extra hard. That lost luggage is real. I was recently, about a year ago, a victim of the lost luggage. And then when I finally got my luggage back, they had done stole some stuff. So,
oh no,
lost luggage and theft. And you know what? Actually, today I saw, and I think I saw this video before, but have you seen the video about the Spirit Airlines representatives? This man was getting on his flight and he left his bag at the desk, like before you get on boarding or whatever. And instead of trying to get it on the plane to the person, doing whatever, this lady picks it up, opens it up, starts taking stuff out of it, goes to the trash can, starts like dramatically throwing stuff away. The other Spirit Airlines worker is like recording her doing it. She passes something off to somebody else. And then the guy is on there like talking about how they had taken some family heirlooms. Like if he ever gets it back, which I doubt that he will, because I'm pretty sure they threw the bag away. It was jewels in there, family heirlooms, all of this stuff. So to Brittany's point, or cake by the pounds, when you're talking about losing luggage, yeah, you worried about losing it and hoping that you get it back. But when you get it back, is it all going to be intact? That is definitely a fear because it's happened to me before.
Now, I really appreciate the take on this comment, because when developing the episode and thinking about fear, I think this points out that there's levels of fear, right? There is an extreme level of crash, death, destruction, planes falling out the air, planes crashing into each other. But then there's just a whole nother viewpoint of like, are my things gonna make it? Is somebody gonna take something out of my bag? Like, you got all of these different thoughts that are running through your head. One of my friends has a fashion designer as a best friend, and some stuff just didn't make it. She typically brings the high-end items like on the plane with her, but she put it in a carry-on. She even used, y'all know the hack of using the air tags. A lot of people use air tags now just to kind of keep up with your luggage.
But the thing is, and I was going to make this point before you said this, but now that you bring it up, with the air tags, even if you put that in your luggage, what if you got something that don't have an air tag attached? They stole my drone. Let me throw that out there because I'm still mad. Ethiopian Airlines. They stole my whole drone.
Was it stolen or confiscated?
No, it was not confiscated. It was stolen. They didn't even, and here's the thing, you know how they put the paper to say, hey, we went through your luggage to check for anything, da, 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 da. It was no paper. We've confiscated it. The drone was allowed where I went. So even in the stopover, it was allowed. So no, it wasn't confiscated. None of that. It was stolen. They ain't got my drone back yet. They didn't reimburse me for my luggage being lost either, which, oh, girl. Yes, I'm mad. Brenda looking like you mad, ain't you? Am.
Still mad. Big mad. Still mad. That's wild and crazy. But even to your point, even with the air tag, to be fair, once it's on its way to wherever it is going to that is not your house, like there is very little you can do about it. I remember her telling me the story, like she put the air tag in the bag and it was in Minneapolis or someplace. Like she was on her way to LA. Like there is nothing you can do. Like, what are you gonna do? Call across state lines, country lines? Like, hey, I see my air tag. Who can go get who? Here is the pen. Go get my bag. Like, we put in these safeguards, but still brings on a whole new level of fear.
Which, now, to that point, Brent, I'm sorry because you just made me think of something. To your point that it brings on another level of fear, and you put in these safeguards. Sometimes you just gotta let go and let God. And I believe you said that towards like the beginning of the episode. Like you can have safeguards, and when I talked about overreacting, but at the end of the day, what you gonna do? What are you gonna do? It's out of your control. So sometimes you can have those safeguards, but then you need to move to the point where you're just like, I just gotta give it on up. That's it. It's done.
Now, I have traveled home to a couple of different weddings over the past few years of life. And to your point, like one of my main safeguards, I don't put nothing in my luggage that could either get lost, missing, or stolen. Or misplaced or confiscated. I don't like, if it's important, it is on my person. And sometimes if you eat, there's certain things that you're like, I don't even want to go through this extra level of security for this. I'm gonna say, and this is very trivial. One thing that definitely will come on my person is my Uncle Bobby sweet potato pie. I will never put that in my luggage. You are not getting rid of my Uncle Bobby sweet potato. We will step aside and let you swipe all the things. Listen, I gotta add a little light because this is it could be a doomy topic. Okay, we had a little sunshine.
I feel you, but that sweet potato pie must be good.
Oh, honey, Kate, those of you that have had my Uncle Bobby sweet potato pie, y'all know it is not a game. Multiple people at TSA have asked for it. No, can't do it. Now, this will also lead me into this conversation of like, why do people fear international travel but feel comfortable at home? That get me every time. Y'all trying to
People
tell me
have that fear. Oh, well, you're right. No, I know. I get what you mean on this level. Okay, go ahead.
people be trying to tell me what dangers exist in all these places I'm about to go to in the world, and sir, they jacking cars in America. Like, you need to keep your head on a swivel. You must keep your doors locked. Like, what are we even saying? What?
I don't have anything for that because I'd be just as confused as you are, Brand. When people tell me, or when I used to ask people to come and visit me in Abu Dhabi, and they'd be like, "Oh, girl, no, I ain't coming over there." One of my cousins said that one time, and I was like, as we're sitting at his house, or they were shooting up the street, like you can hear it. Granted, they were shooting the guns in the air for fun.
That's how trouble gets
Bro,
started.
did you just hear that? Are you? What are we talking about? Are you being serious right now? I never have understood that. And I mean, no judgment if you just are scared for unknown things. That goes back to the quote that we talked about earlier. You are a ship that does not want to leave harbor. But say that. Don't say it's more dangerous somewhere else than it is at home. And again, we're speaking to as Americans. That's home for us. I don't know anybody else's home situation and what that looks like. But I mean, if it was somebody trying to leave Dubai and go to America, I could definitely see them being like, don't know if I want to do that. I could get it. But for us being Americans, I don't understand. Like, y'all be so ready to hop on a flight and go to any other state, but don't want to go abroad.
And this is okay. So in my early time in Abu Dhabi, when I lived there, I went on a date with this young Arab man. I can't remember exactly what country he was from, but he was definitely Arab. And it was such a cute little date too. He took me to his cute little local spot to have some food, which we pulled up and he honk. They came out. I tried to do that like weeks later, and they did not come out for me, y'all. So he had some level of power at that restaurant, and I had to go in like, y'all didn't come out, but he didn't recognize the car. Okay, anyway, so took me to this cute little spot, picked up food, and we took the food and we ended up eating in the park. He took me to this cute little park in Abu Dhabi. So cute. It was super cute. And in the park, there was this little kid running around. Kid had to be like 3 or 4. Okay. And I remember like stopping and looking around, and I'm like, where is your mother? Where is your father? Like, where is your parents? And I think I said that. He was looking at, he's like, what's wrong? I was like, why is this little kid just running around? Like, they need supervision. And he was like, why would they need supervision? And I was like, because somebody could steal them. Somebody could snatch them up and take them. And he was like, but why would somebody do that? It was such an innocent conversation, but it's that it goes like right along with this perspective of like, y'all, Netflix just released the whole thing on who killed JonBenet Ramsey. Do y'all remember what I remember when she was stolen, and it was a big deal because it was kind of like, hey, don't be talking to strangers, don't be going out with nobody. Like, you need to be alert as a kid in America. Right? Like, but over in Abu Dhabi in the UAE, here's this man where they need to be bringing peace to, looking at me like I'm crazy because what grown person was still a kid? It's so wild, right? Like, people be so fearful of what they don't know. Just what they don't know. But you're comfortable with them shooting up the club around the street around there or something.
But you know what? I thought about this earlier when, not the caution tape. I thought about this earlier briefly when we were talking about like car crashes versus like plane crashes and how they're more, they happen more often. And I was thinking about too, even to this point about different places being safer, even as far as like driving cars. Now, I mean, driving in the UAE is different. Okay. They drive fast and they drive very offensively.
You may drive slow.
Either way, it's different, okay? But to the point of having fear, like when we were talking about, you have to worry about other people that are around you. I mean, same in the UAE. But one thing that you don't have to worry about is like, I've seen videos on TikTok where people are like stalking people to hit them. so that they can have an insurance claim. Or I saw one where the lady is like, this car is backing up. Like, they were backing up fast. I think they're trying to hit me. And she had like a dash cam in the car. And I'm like, why would you do that? But if they hit you from behind, they're at fault. And I guess the person is thinking, like, as long as I got this dent on the back of my car, then I'm just like, dang, you must have had a bill that needed to be paid bad for you to do all of this. But to that point, like, you don't do that. And you don't see people do that in the UAE because your insurance is your insurance. You can't get a check from somebody over a wreck. If you hit somebody in the back, then your insurance is going to pay for it, or their insurance is going to pay for it. It's not like you're getting my neck and my back check. You're just going to get the insurance filed because why? So you see less of these things happening. And I'm just talking on the level of, you talked about the kidnapping aspect, which I've seen that as well. I've been in the mall with parents over there and kids over there. And I'm like, yo, nobody's concerned. Nobody, not a person. Nobody's concerned. But even on a lesser level, when you just think about the simplicity of driving, like you don't have to worry about things like that in different parts of the world. And but we know this because we've seen it firsthand. So I give people a little bit of grace, not knowing it and having to say those things, but also y'all know what's going down in your own backyard. Like what?
They even leads us into the conversation of like crime rates in different areas. Now, I want people to be clear. Some places we go to, they are dangerous, just like some of your neighborhoods are dangerous because people are dangerous. Like, you need to be aware and alert, but everywhere is not completely like completely violent or war zone or everything like that. Matter of fact, when I moved to the UAE back in 2016, I remember people saying like, is it safe? And it's like the next month, or maybe, it was like a couple of months after that, the top list of safest places to be. Like, the UAE was at that time, because they've gone down a little bit. I went looking. At that time, the UAE was like number 2 on the list, behind like Iceland, Finland, someplace like that, or Switzerland. It was one of the lands. Like, it's crazy to me that people really put themselves in a box, or they put their ship in a harbor and they don't go experience the world because they are deathly afraid of whatever has been poured out to them in the news or on their feed and their timeline. But when you go to these places, you just gotta be safe. Do you happen to research crime or anything, or you just be out there like?
For the most part, I just be out there willy-nilly. And I do my own safeguarding parameters now. Okay, so I was gonna go to where was it I was gonna do a Scandinavian tour for spring break. And so I did look into like the crime rate, but I didn't go looking for like what crimes are done more than the other or anything like that. And maybe that's something now that we're talking about this. But again, I can overreact. So if I look into something, then I'm going to take it to the next level. Again, it's not going to be, oh my God, they said that people be swiping stuff. You're too close. I would never do that. But in my mind, I'm on high alert, which I am anyways. But I don't look for specific crimes, but I do see like, is the crime rate up there or anything? When I first started traveling to Europe, though, I was looking up all the games on how to avoid being pickpocketed because it's huge. It can be huge there. So, baby, you're not taking my things. What do I need? What are my travel fines that are essential to me not getting pickpocketed? So I picked up a lot of things along the way.
Yeah, you should always keep your head on a swivel. It don't matter who country you in. But just to be fair, there are some places that are safer than your home, because some folks is killing folks down the street from your house. Okay, so that fear of unknown should not keep you at your house. Okay, my homegirl Curly Girl Coach hit us. Hey Jamie, she hit us up with, most people feel that the devil they know is better than the one they don't. It's the fear of the unknown. Change is hard. I agree. And what we're here to do today is inspire you guys to push outside of your comfort zone just a little bit. Now, we're not saying put your guard down. We're not saying that your head should not be on a swivel. It should be. Everywhere you go, you should be alert and aware of the things that are happening around you, because people are evil. Okay.
People are
And you
evil,
need
but
to be aware. You do need to be aware. But you shouldn't, that it shouldn't keep you stuck in your harbor at your house, right? We're gonna keep going
I
back to that ship
agree.
reference.
And to right, because that was a good one for today. Jamie, to your point, change is hard, but you know what's harder? Not changing.
Evolution is a requirement of life, right?
Yeah, you
We
have to
must
change up a
change.
little bit, even if it's not, if you're American and you always go domestically and you decide just to go a little bit deeper than the border, whether it's up or down, north or south, venture out, see something different. That evolution, like Braylon said, it is important. We had another comment on Instagram from Teach Travel Handstands, and my girl be doing handstands all over the page.
Headstands.
I love to see it. Headstands, sorry. But she do be doing them headstands, even in a profile picture. I said, okay, girl, headstanding around the world. But she said, I fear not getting the window seat. I paid for. I don't want to talk. And I feel this deep down in my heart. Like, I don't care. Matter of fact, I don't even care if it's a window seat. I don't want to talk, especially if I got in my headphones. And I am fearful of people talking to me when I don't want to talk on the flight. My first, super long haul flight when I lived in Germany, this man, first of all, he got me real good. It was my first time traveling that far. And I had a middle seat, but it was the aisle seat. And he was really tall, this black guy. He was very kind. He was in the middle seat. And he was like, hey, I'm just wondering, can we switch seats? My legs are really long. And whatever he told me. And I was just like, okay, sure, we can switch seats. And I switched seats with him and ended up sitting in the middle. And he talked to me most of that flight. So I was perturbed because, number one, now to switch seats with you, you do your thing, stretch your legs, let me be. But maybe he felt like he owed me conversation and I wasn't yet in the travel space to be able to do the things. Headphones, say, sir, I'm gonna take me a nap, whatever. Now I'm a little bit more well-traveled, but that is a fear of mine. Somebody duping me out of a seat, which now is not so much of a fear because I will tell you no for the most part. Or somebody who is very chatty, no matter my circumstance. And people do that. They will see you with headphones on and still talk to you. And
talking about this, I don't think I had I don't know if I would call it a fear, but I am a little nervous of somebody being in my seat and then they not wanting to give me back my seat. And I am nervous of how that plays out. Huh?
Didn't that happen to you?
Every time that I have asked for somebody to move out of the seat that they were in that belonged to me, they have moved.
But
I don't know.
One lady, it was when we did our travel, was it Fears or like X show or whatever, and she was like, "This is your seat. This is yours."
Yes, but her husband recognized this Black woman standing in front of him, and he said, "Don't worry about it. We will move." Like he shut her down before I even had a chance to.
Right.
I don't know if it was the look I gave but it was, typically I'm on these late flights. So first of all, I am tired and I want my window seat that I paid for and I don't want to go back and forth with you. So I don't know if I want to put the F word on it, the fear word, but I'm typically am a little nervous because we've seen on social media how these things have played out with other people, especially women of color. And all of a sudden we look like the big bad boogeyman. It's like, well, they just let them have the seat. No, because the airline charged me for that seat. So who gonna run me back my money? And if you're not gonna run me back my money, then she needs to become a flight risk today. Because it ain't gonna be me. I need my seat. Like, that took me to a place.
Yeah.
So took me to a place. We gonna slide on it. It did. We're gonna slide on into to topic number 3. Now, is there more safety in numbers? Do you feel more safe on a group trip than you do on a solo trip or a duo?
Depends.
She is the queen of a good trip.
Okay, it depends. If I am hosting a trip, which I often do, if you guys want to trip with me, wonderco.com, I'm not saying it's not safety in numbers, but for me as the host, I'm more fearful of something happening because I am responsible for a group of people. Now, granted, I put lots of safeguards in place as far as having like uh, emergency kits, doctors on speed dial, having your emergency information, all of the things. But you're in a big group, you're on a tour, one person wanders off. Where did they go? They've never been here before. What are we doing? So safety in numbers, I think it's a little bit more risk when you have more numbers versus if you're solo or it's a duo trip. You just worried about you on a solo trip and possibly someone else. What's your take? Because you do both.
I don't feel safe in groups. I actually feel more safe by myself than I do with a group of people.
Mm-hmm.
In the groups, in some of the group trips that I've been on, I got multiple multiple offenses. I feel like sometimes I'm with folks that want to turn up to the largest extent of life. And that puts the responsibility of our safety on other people who are not at that same level. One, I feel like I can't enjoy myself because I'm too busy trying to make sure that the girl that you think is very interested in you don't steal all your money and mine too. Like, or you know what I mean? Like, you think somebody done came over here, oh, so nice American people. And then over here, we done took all our money, our phones, our passports, and now we stuck. Like, it makes me on edge. Like, I feel like, and I'm like, no, I need all of us to be on alert because I feel like now I'm the only one on alert. Like, I'm the only one paying attention to the surroundings. I get fearful when people get to having beverages that give them courage, and then they want to get to fighting in these other people's countries, and that scares me because I know I can't stay back with you to make sure you get out of jail.
Not you speaking from personal experience.
Well, I mean, I'm speaking from a variety of experiences.
I felt it, Brenda. We all felt it.
Okay. I'm just saying, like, if you get locked up in these people's country, what are we supposed to do? Who are we supposed to call?
That's why you get contact information before, because I'm not depending on the situation. Depending on the situation, if you was defending my honor or it had to happen, definitely would stick around for you. But if not, what's your mama's phone number? What's your daddy's phone number? Your sister, your husband, your brother, your cousin? Because I will call them, but I got to go.
It makes me nervous. And Americans are typically arrogant travelers, and I don't think me and my friends are arrogant travelers always, but I do feel like because people have other experience with very snobbish, very privileged, very you can't do this to me, I'm a sue mentality travelers, because everybody ain't like that outside of the US, right? So we get kind of labeled, especially once they hear us talk. So in some places we go to, they think we're African. And so that's a whole nother label. And then when I start speaking and you realize I'm American, now you following me down the streets, you saying Obama, Obama, Obama. Like I am nervous. Okay. And then there are friends in the group that are like, want to be friendly with people that I just feel like we don't need no new friends. We didn't come on the trip to make new friends. It's 8 of us. We have
all of our friends here.
All of our friends here.
We're all together
here. Right now. We do not need new friends. Let that little girl go. Let that man go. We do not need new friends. Why are we collecting friends on a trip? Leave them alone. Because I be thinking they gonna steal all our stuff.
Because people do. People target groups. People target groups, especially when people are being super friendly. This
and they be targeting Americans. Y'all, the cost of eggs is $100. We ain't got no money.
People definitely target Americans. Number one, because they think America is just, of course, like this grand land, which not saying it's not, but that's what people think. They think all Americans have money when you go to certain countries. They also, because for whatever reason, we have certain parameters at home, but people don't take those safety parameters elsewhere. So when I say that, I mean, like at home, you don't go out to a gas station and pull out like thousands of dollars or whatever. Like, I mean, some people may, but you have a safety parameter. You count that money in the car, make sure ain't nobody seeing you. You know what I'm saying? Even if you're at the grocery store, I got a couple $100 bills in my pocket. Let me put that in my purse and pull out one, pass to the cashier. But people go to other countries, whether they can see the money or not, sometimes they can see what you do, whether you are popping bottles in the club, you are wearing your whatever name brand,
Gucci, Fendi, you Gucci down to the
names, all of the things, jewelry around the neck flashing. They look at that and they're like, even if you don't got it like that, maybe you saved up for those things. Maybe you saved up, but they're like, okay, money, let's figure this out. But this made me think about a group trip that I went on a few years ago to Beirut. And we were all walking down the street. We're actually going to the club, just had a great dinner. It was so amazing. We're walking down the street, getting ready to go to this club. And these little kids come up. It's at night, right? It's nighttime. So these little kids come up and they're like, hello, like speaking to us and stuff. And we're like, oh, they're so sweet. And so they were trying to, at the time, I can't remember if they were trying to sell a flower or something else at the time. We're like, no, we're good. It's okay. This is several years ago. So we're like, we're good. So one of the kids wraps his leg around our homegirl, wraps his body around our homegirl's leg, and is like, take me with you. And she's like, sir, what? So everybody is looking at this kid. At the time, people are recording, and we like, what's going on? Like, little kid, go on, thinking that it's kind of cute or whatever, but also like very bizarre, because why would you wrap your body around this lady's leg? We move on, go to the club, have a good time that night. Didn't think nothing of it. Few years later, I'm looking on the interwebs of social media, and I see one of the biggest scams that happens around the world is these kids wrapping themselves around people's legs. And what the other people around do, whether it be their parents or other little kids, is that they come and either pickpocket you, swipe something of yours, because everybody is so enamored and looking at, look at this little kid wrapped around her leg, or giving this person attention. Nobody is paying. You not paying attention to what your right hand doing because your left hand is distracted. And meanwhile, they done stole your phone, your passport, all your money.
Now, some of y'all won't even give the people standing on the corner $5 because you're afraid to roll down your window. So I can't imagine like why you would want to go to somebody else's foreign country and hand people money and cash. And to be honest, even when you was talking about it, to your point of like the different crime things that I've watched, I don't be watching heavy. I watch funny stuff like with Will Smith, and it was called Focus. And I remember I was like, the way they stealing money from folks, it is all about the distraction.
And that is what 11, 12, 13
11, Oceans 11, 12, 13, all of the oceans. But when I watched Focus, I was like, you literally will be sitting here talking to one person. Somebody be done swooped in your pockets and everything else. They done kept you long enough for them to come back and put it back, because that's the trick, right? We can't
get that access card, go open up the door, bring it back.
That's the stuff I be thinking about. The same thing you described happened to my homeboy, Handsome Gent, over on Instagram. Him and one of his homegirls were traveling, and the kid definitely, I think the kid stole something off of him, wrapped around them, and then was calling them names too. They called him the N-word and everything. It was a whole mess.
Not you gonna steal something from me and insult me. Dang.
Steal and insult. Okay. Ooh, I had another one. This part of the topic had me going. Is there more safety in numbers? The other thing that get me when traveling with other groups of people, Tia and I are both content creators. Okay. We create content. We were creating content before content was a content. Okay. We was doing it before the word became popular. Mm-hmm. We have systems in place. We do not just be taking pictures and videos and all types of stuff. We don't just be out here just scanning. As much as possible, I do my best to blend. And traveling in groups, it gets a little away from us. It gets a little away. Folks just be out here like, are you watching your own back?
They lose your guards go down when people, that's another
when you're with the group.
When you're with groups, your guard goes down because you're like, I'm with 10 people. Nobody's going to do anything to us. Nobody's
not when all 10 people are doing their own thing. To be honest, I definitely want to do a video. I'm going to do a video one day about another video about when me and my homegirl went to Paris. I haven't nothing has been stolen from me. But this one trip to Paris, because she was looking at what I was doing and Girl, keep your head on. Everybody needs to be on alert. If we are going together, we all have to be on alert. You can't just be looking at what I'm doing. I can't just be looking at what
Especially
you're
can't be
doing.
looking at what I'm doing. I'm looking at what I'm doing. You check my 6, check my 3, all of the numbers on the clock. I'm gonna check right here. I'm gonna do this, and then we can switch, and I'll do the same for you. Like to that point about creating content, like if Brandon and I are together somewhere that's unknown or just a bit unfamiliar, we got bags. Okay, Brandon, I'm gonna hold these bags. You go ahead and get your shot, or I'm gonna hold these bags while you get your shot. One, I don't remember what trip I was on, but somebody was like, "Oh, take my picture." Put their bag on the side, and I was like, "What you doing? If you don't bring me that bag,
because you want to give it away.
I will hold it. Oh, girl, it's heavy, and you don't want it to be light when it's in somebody else's hand.
If it's heavy, then why'd you come out here with all that stuff anyway? What are you doing? We are not moving bricks over here. Put this stuff in the hotel and lock it up. What are we doing?
And you know what? To that point, when you talk about blending and doing content and stuff, like now, especially traveling more and more, my idea of catching content is like the lightest stuff that I can do that's possible and blend in as much as possible. There's this one device that I got. Oh, I threw it over there. It's a suction cup. Instead of having a whole tripod to set it up and do all the things, it's a suction cup that sticks to a surface. It moves around. You can put it up. You don't have to worry about setting up a whole tripod, doing all the things. Put it there, do the things. It blends in so much. Somebody might not even notice that your phone is there. You go on about your business. Some of these things you have to have forethought about. The arm one, the spider arms. Now, granted, everybody's not doing content, but when you are traveling and you want to catch some pictures, you want to do the things, especially for solo travelers. And again, because we're talking about groups, these are some tips for y'all. If you ever thought about solo traveling and you want to get some nice pictures and things, have some forethought about it. Sometimes asking somebody to take your picture is not a thing. Like you can't do that everywhere. Somebody saw me and Travis. We was taking each other's pictures. We was in Amsterdam one time, and the guy was walking past. He was like, "You want me to take y'all's picture?" And I was like, "No." He was like, I'll take your picture. It's fine. Travis was like, "Let him take the picture." And I was like, "You can give him your phone to take the picture." So Travis gave him the phone, and he's like, "Okay, that's good. That's good." Dude turns around and does a running motion. And I was like, "I know you better not." And he turned around. He was like, "I'm just joking." And gives the phone back. And I was like,
"Don't joke with me, sir. Don't joke with me, sir."
What even about?
Where people, even when you're taking pictures of other people, there have been times where Tia has been taking my picture and she is taking the picture and looking like you have got to be on alert. You can't just be taking the picture and be all, "Yes, girl, yes." No.
I will give myself some props, and we can give myself props afterwards. Okay. Get the angles, do the things. Head on
like, I think I got it. Now, even Tia, okay, so we talk about, clearly I felt a way about, is there safety in numbers? Clearly felt strongly about this one. I definitely most of the time feel safer by myself, and I think that's probably a wild thought to other people, but I also do things to make sure I am safeguarding myself. Like I saw Taken, like the rest of y'all. I know people got special sets of skills out here and people be disappearing at the airport. I don't want no part. So even when I travel by myself, there's a lot of things that I don't do. And sometimes even when in groups, I'll be like, "Why y'all doing that?" Like, but one of them, I think you feel the same way. Why are we posting in real time? When I travel by myself, I do not post in real time. Some of y'all are seeing Bali content now and be like, "Enjoy Bali, girl." I'm not there.
I am at work, but thanks. Thank you very much.
But you're going to get this Bali content because I took it. But there's people, y'all be posting in real time. One of my homeboys, I love him, sweet, so sweet. I think I messaged him. I was like, "Are you at this hotel right now?" He was like, "Yes." And it's so amazing. Stop
Take it down.
That you're at that hotel right now. You don't, because a lot of y'all don't even realize. Ooh, my earphones fell out. I like that the geotags that y'all put on Instagram. So, for example, you're posting to your story and then you tag where you are. That is a geotag. So there's a whole nother screen on Instagram. When you click that geotag, it brings up a map. that tells you your exact real time. So people who are the evils and the not so the not so mentally well people are finding these geotags. They don't even have to go to your page. Hear me out. They don't have to go to your page. They go to the geotag itself, and the geotag shows them everybody who is there at that particular location. Stolen, taken. And then get this, they may not even, where you at might be majorly too public. So now you done had a good old time. You out here getting all this little content that you ain't posting because you really ain't, that ain't what you do. It's going to sit in your phone anyway, right? So now you done got all this content, done told these people where you are, and now they follow you back to your hotel. They sit in the lobby like they are a regular customer. They follow you up to your room. They get on that. Haven't y'all seen Scandal? Didn't y'all watch Charlie get on them elevators with them people? They follow you up to them elevators. They get off on your floor. And the next thing you know, we are trying to find you. Be smart, people. So there's certain things, like I said, I don't do by myself. But when I'm with the group, people be doing it. I'll be like, why did we just post that we were here? Did we need to tell everybody we was here right now?
Oh, you had to put that you was in this club, because it's not that hard to deduce if you are in this club in this foreign country that you probably didn't travel hours and hours away to get there. So if you didn't travel hours and hours away to get there, and because I see the type of time that you're having at the club, I can probably understand the type of aesthetics that you like and the type of money that you're traveling with. So let me narrow down all of the hotels that are around this club that are going with your aesthetic. Let me run down all of the numbers. Okay, it's about 5 hotels that are within the distance of this club. Then I can finally see where they are, what they're doing, and go and find them. Yes, this may be to the extreme, but sometimes you need to think along the timelines of what things can happen, because people are crazy, whether you be at home, domestically, or abroad. Okay, so I don't want y'all to think that this is just an abroad thing, because this could happen at home as well. You have to keep your head on a swivel. Like I told you at the beginning of the episode, I am a true crime buff. I love true crime podcasts, shows, all of the things, whatever. Love the things. I've seen shows where they talk about people domestically, because I don't want y'all to think that this is just an abroad issue. People domestically might have an issue with you, look to see where you are on your Snapchat, on your stories, on Insta, Facebook, whatever, will come to find you in that place that you're in or the surrounding areas. Just be safe, y'all. You have to be safe, whether you're traveling abroad or domestically. Can't say that enough.
Honey, that was a good little bow on that part of the segment. Let me tell you. Topic 3, really, that took me to a place, because I do group travel. I do more solo duo travel than I do big groups, but big groups be having me on edge. But I appreciate you putting that nice little, be safe at home, domestically and abroad. Okay, be safe. So that's going to move us into our next segment. We're going to be talking about confessions. Honey, we're going to be on our Usher here a little bit. In our confessions today, we're going to be talking about something dealing with fears. And I'm going to pull it back up here. So the question today is, what is one travel fear you don't really talk about? You want to go first, Tia, or you need a little bit of time? What you need?
Let me sit with this one in my spirit. You go first.
Okay. So one of my travel fears, and it's going to sound real crazy, y'all. Okay. Let me give y'all a little backstory. I love House. Y'all remember House? It was the medical show. Gregory House. He was a real rude man. He was just in a lot of pain. I felt for him. But he was this genius of a doctor. And I remember this episode where actually there was a plane crash, because they be happening on these shows. There was a plane crash.
And survive on these shows.
They do. And the young lady was brought to the hospital. She had all these burns and cuts and bruises, but she was really kind of unrecognizable. And they were treating her, and everything they gave her just went wrong. Literally, they gave her some type of medicine. She had a reaction, and something else happened, and it was just horrible. Everything they tried to do to fix the girl didn't work. And that leads me to my biggest fear. So what ended up happening in this particular episode was the girl had switched seats with someone else. And so when the plane crashed, they pull up the manifest and they pull up where you actually sit on a flight, and they look at how people get distributed in the space. So like if you were supposed to be in 36A, but now you are over here by 24F, they are looking for the person's name that should have been near 24F. So what happened was the girl switched seats on the plane, and so the parents thought that she was their daughter, and she wasn't. She was unrecognizable, so she wasn't their daughter. And so that's like one of my craziest, very extreme, like to a degree. I'm like Tia, I'll overreact, but that is literally one of my crazy extreme fears. And it's what's wild is typically now, after I saw that show years ago, when I get on a plane and I change seats, I typically text somebody that my seat has been updated, all because of this show.
Oh, wow.
All because of this show. I am allergic to penicillin and all things related, the cousins of penicillin and everything else. So if I end up on Gregory House's table, somebody need to find out sooner than later, okay, that this is me, just in case. Wow, okay. I don't talk about it a lot because people switch seats when seats are available. Like when we get an extra room, typically I let my row partners leave. I don't usually leave. I'd be glad when they move over. But I typically keep my seat because a lot of other things that you don't even think about are connected to you being in that seat. Such a wild, I know, it's wild. It's wild.
I thought I'd be going down a rabbit hole. But it's not a bad rabbit hole. Wow. Okay. All right. Okay. So let me go ahead.
And we don't judge.
I'm not judging. I'm just very shocked. I did not think that that's what you were going to say. So for me, I think that a travel fear that I don't talk about is that I am scared that I will travel somewhere and get arrested, detained, in trouble for something that I have no idea about, that I'm unaware of. I can't remember if it's Singapore or it's some country like where you can't chew gum, like chewing gum or spitting it out on the ground is like illegal. Not chewing gum, but I don't even think they sell gum there. Spitting it out on the ground is illegal. I can't remember if it's Singapore or not. Somebody will correct me in the episode, I'm sure. What if I didn't know that? I like a little winter fresh. I like the, little spearmints. What if I need to, chew a little piece of gum? Not saying I'm gonna spit it on the ground. Maybe it falls out of my mouth. Police sees me. Hey, come here. Going to jail. What? For what? And then I'm sitting in the cell not knowing what to do, or I'm very fearful of being detained abroad. That is a fear, whether people know that I'm there, whether it's something that I didn't do or mean to do, because let me tell you, that's another thing as far as travel fears. Make sure that y'all check up on laws as much as you can. As much as you can. You can't, I don't even know all the laws in America, and I'm from there, but I know things that I want to do when I go there. So I'm up to date on those laws. So maybe, that can be something that you do. Hey, I'm going to go to this country. I know that this is what I want to do. I want to party. I want to drink. I want to turn up. I don't know, anything, whatever you want to do, find the laws that are based on those things, because that is a fear of mine. That was a downer from where you came from. I feel like yours is extreme. Mine was just like, what, girl? I don't know, but that's why we don't talk.
That's a good one, though. It's definitely relatable because knowing the laws, and it's very hard to know the laws of every country you travel to. Like I think we talked about maybe in season 1 about when T.I. went to jail in Amsterdam for recording from his phone, because that's completely it's like being on your phone while driving a car, right? So he went to jail for that. He said it was the nicest arrest he's ever had, but he still went to jail.
They said those Amsterdam
they detained him. They detained him. They didn't put him in jail.
Jails are nice, or the process of it is not too bad. I actually had an experience, not where obviously I got detained, but Travis and I were in Phuket years ago, and a fight broke out in the middle of the street. We were on Bangalore Road. Shout out Bangalore Road. Had a time. A fight broke out. This couple is together. They squabbling up, and then this girl runs out of nowhere. Don't know the story. In my mind, the guy and the girl were together. The girl was really his girl. Saw the guy and the girl together. Like, hey, that's my man, not your man. I'm going to show you that that's my man. Y'all, when she came, all we heard was footsteps. And then we saw her elevate in the air. and Luke Cage kicked this girl in the back. I promise you, she levitated. She levitated her body up in the air. Luke Cage in the back. So when we saw that, we're like, oh my God, Mortal Kombat is happening right now. Pulled out my phone because what else do you do when you see somebody levitate? It kicks somebody in the back. Okay, boom, let me get this. The people turned around, saw me recording. Now, I don't know if it's a jailable offense, but they turned around, looked at me, made this wall barrier in front of me so that I couldn't record. And I said, because at first I'm like, maybe they're just trying to see. So I'm trying to see too. And they're like, no, like you can't get this on video. And I'm like, oh shoot, they don't want me to record their people because it was locals. They don't want me to record their people and put this out somewhere. So although I respected it, looking in hindsight, I'm like, dang, that could have been bad for me. Thank God it wasn't, but be aware of these types of things. Head on the spot.
And adjust quickly. Just because you didn't know, like, and you're now made aware, like that doesn't right the wrong, right? Like, be apologetic. Recognize, I'm my bad. I did not know.
Put that phone up real quick. Once I realized, I said, "Don't worry."
The people,
I don't even have the video.
Trying to stand in their wrongness, like they are at home, like.
But even if you're at home, if you're wrong, you're wrong. If somebody doesn't want you to record them, don't record them. Like, that's something as Black women, I know, Black people in general, when we travel, people love to throw up that phone, take a picture, whether they ask you or not. I prefer people to ask me, and sometimes I'll say yes, just depending on my mood. But if somebody doesn't want you to take a picture of them, stop. Like, it ain't that deep. Stop. I don't understand how people get upset with celebrities when they're like, no, I don't feel like taking a picture, or don't take a picture of me. You a celebrity, you owe me. I don't owe you nothing. Okay? Go watch my films, listen to my music, do whatever. But yeah, that's a fear. Make sure y'all comment, whether you're Replay Gang or watching us live. What is one travel fear that you have that you don't talk about? I think that's a very interesting topic. I can't wait to put that on my stories.
All right, so we're easing on to the end, towards the end of our show. And before we close out, we love to celebrate good times. Come on. Hey, let's celebrate. All right. Now, you don't need a passport to celebrate progress. Growth is its own destination. Okay. So, do you want to go first on this one?
Yes, I can go first. And I actually have two, so I'll make them quick. The first one, I want to celebrate someone else. This week, our good girl, Sadis Holland, that is in the UAE, based in Abu Dhabi, launched her brand Black Is. And since Black History Month, what's up? She's been working on this project for a few years now and wanted it to be perfect when it came into fruition. And I'm just so proud of her and all of her accomplishments. She actually officially launched the things for people to see and be able to purchase yesterday. The amount of community and love that came out to support, it was just so beautiful to see. And I love that. And seeing, with people I've had recently that have asked about living abroad, how you can do it, what the Black communities are in different places abroad. And that was one of the moments where I was just like, that's community. I love the community that people can build in different sectors of lifestyles abroad. And I just want to give Sadis a kudos, give Black Is their props. The jewelry is amazing. The shirt qualities are like that. Black Is a movement, and it's going to be a global brand. So I can't wait for everybody else to see it as well. But also to build on that community of like expat life and living abroad, which if you guys have questions about it, Branlin or myself, we are pretty much experts on it. So we wouldn't mind, giving you the insides and outs of it. Because we have community, I was speaking with somebody the other day. As y'all see, I have on my glasses this week. I've been having some issues with my eyes. I've worn glasses for years, y'all, since I can remember, in elementary school. But I've had issues with my eyes, with my contacts, where they were getting really irritated and things. And before my birthday, my 35th birthday last year in October, it was like one day I just got up and I was like, oh shoot, my vision is bad. It was like one random day. I'm like, not you trying to get old on me. So I had been asked, like the year before, I told my husband for my 35th birthday, I wanted to wake up and have sight. Like that's what I wanted for my birthday. So he gifted it to me, but I was just trying to find the right place to get it. Long story short, I found a place that is going to do it, and your girl is getting LASIK. Now, yes, that is a celebration because next week I will be coming to y'all with 2020 vision. Okay? 2020 vision. I will be able to see. But for next week when I can see y'all clearly, as the song says. But I think that the celebration is in the hunt that I had to go through to get to it, and then the end result. So again, talking about abroad, that's where I found the doctor that would do it. I opted from getting it done in the States to getting it done in Abu Dhabi because people have such a misconception about life abroad, like we were talking about earlier with y'all's fears. And people are like, oh, it's so expensive to live abroad or to do things and exist abroad. Y'all, when I was searching for a doctor to do my eyes in the States, this was years ago. It was $1,500 an eye. That's basic. Okay.
An eye. Not they don't come as a pair.
Like they're on my face together. They came together. This was a package. I can't. No 2-for-1s. All right, cool. $1,500 an eye. So I had been looking, trying to find something, and finally found someone. One of our friends got theirs done last week and told me about theirs and how much they paid. And I said, what kind of facility is this? Because what they paid was like a little less than $1,000. So I said, for both eyes or just for one? For both eyes. So I did my research on the place, and they were very top rated. It was a great place to Abu Dhabi. So I was like, I'm definitely going there. And y'all, just to put it in perspective, as I said, when I was searching in the States, it was $1,500 an eye. I'm getting both of my eyes, 3 follow-up visits, got my consultation done for $1,089.
For both eyes.
Gooped. I am gooped. I say this as another layer of what we were talking about before, whether it be fear of travel, because you don't know. We're going to tell you what we do know so that you can make your own decisions. Don't believe the misconceptions. Don't believe the hype, the sensationalism of all things. Like, sometimes there are better things than what you just presently know. Take that ship out of the harbor and go and see for yourself. But yes, so round of applause. I will be able to see without glasses and all of the things by next week. And shout out to our girl, Denise. I know that was a little different this time, but yeah.
Yeah.
All right, Brian, what you got?
So my celebration actually is shouting back out Tia. She's been working hard in the background for the takeoff, you guys. We are officially back on podcast. Okay.
Hey.
So you have a variety of different places where you can catch the content and the talks and the discussion that we're doing. So if you're not catching us live on Fridays, we of course both have our own YouTube channels. I am at Never Unpacked, and Tia is at Tia Takes the World
on everything.
But now, Tia, can you tell us where they can find us on podcast?
Absolutely. We are streaming live. You can catch season 1. We drop every week on Mondays. Season 1 of The Takeoff on Spotify and on Apple Podcasts. Don't worry, if you listen on other places, we will be coming with more streaming areas and opportunities soon. But right now, those are 2 babies. That's what y'all be listening. So we are available. Every Monday, we're dropping a new episode from season 1.
Yeah, so that's super excited. We're glad that we can celebrate that with you guys. We're getting ready to move into the last parts of our show.
Yo, we're going crazy with the sound effects this season.
Listen. So you guys, today we talked about fear and travel, and we hit a variety of different topics, all the way from planes, not even just, is it me or is it you?
Oh, we didn't turn it off. That's all right. Let me go turn it.
I thought it was you.
I'm like, girl.
Y'all know we are some aunties with the tech. Okay, my bad, you guys. Apparently it is on a loop. All right. Anyway, today we talked about fear and travel, and we've talked about from planes falling from the sky, crashing on runways, to even just being fearful of what can happen with an encounter at the airport or on a plane. We've talked about today the psychology of fear. Are we actually overreacting? Has movies or a true crime podcast? Have that played a major role in how we respond? And then we also talked about, is there safety in numbers? And we both kind of gave our take on what it's like to be traveling with the group and solo and the precautions that we take. So we know, you guys, that fear is absolutely real, but so is preparation. The world has dangerous elements and places everywhere. Okay. So it's important, whether you're solo or if you're as a group, that the more that you stay smart, you keep your head on a swivel, you stay aware, and you don't let fear stop you from seeing the rest of the world or getting outside of your neighborhood. Remember that ship from the beginning of our episode. Don't let your ship stay in the harbor, especially when it's built to weather the sea. So I'm going to toss it over to Tia.
Catch. All right, y'all. Before we end our episode, we just want to thank y'all again for showing up. Thank you for engaging with us. We appreciate the comments on the live videos, and we know that you all that are watching the replay are going to be commenting as well. Just again, we're going to throw it back to y'all in case you missed it. Please share, listen, engage with us, all of the things. You can catch Branlin at Never Unpacks, all right, on social media, and you can catch me at Tia Takes the World on all social media as well. We're both on TikTok, Facebook, YouTube, Instagram, all of the things. We are there, and you can catch us. Please engage with us, follow us. We follow back, okay? We comment back, we DM back, all of the things. And also, again, for our podcast, you can catch us at The Takeoff on Apple Podcasts and on Spotify. Now, we also want to make sure that you're dropping any questions that you might have. We want to engage with you. We want to talk back to you. So if you have questions on past episodes, if you have some things that you want us to talk about on new episodes, again, comment, DM, all the things. We will talk back with you. Now, we talk about all the time how we are travel professionals and travel experts in the game. We haven't always been that way. All right. We didn't start off being travel experts and professionals. We started off just traveling, enjoying ourselves, enjoying seeing the world. And then we started sharing the information with other people along the way. It just happened that way. But then we realized we were missing a very important element. You know what the element was? Getting paid. Everybody getting paid. Everybody want to get paid. Travel is cool, but what's better than traveling and getting paid for it? That's what we do now. And we're also sharing that information with other people. We don't gatekeep over here. Y'all have listened to the episode. We share all of the teas, all of the tips, all of the things. We say that all the time. All of the things, we're sharing it. So if you are interested in turning your love of travel into a paycheck, something that can make you money and not just take you places, well, it can take you places with that money. How about that? Then you can definitely check in with Branlin or myself. We have a free travel agent workshop that you can visit on travelagentworkshop.com. Use Branlin's sponsor code Never Unpack if you would like to work directly with her, or my sponsor code Take the World if you would like to work directly with me. We coach you through the entire process. I'm talking about everything. Oh, you don't know how to market to your clients? We got you on that. Oh, you don't know how to book travel deals? We got you on that. Oh, you don't know how to market on social media? We got you on that. Didn't I say we walk you through everything? We walk you through everything. Okay, so jump on travelagentworkshop.com. And if you have any extra questions, again, hit us up on the socials and we got you. Now, we like to end our episode with a little affirmation. We started with some motivation. Now we got an affirmation. Give it to us, Brand.
Listen, affirmation for this week: fear will not limit my experience, right? Say it with me, feel it with me, type it with me. Fear will not limit my experience. You guys, this has been such a phenomenal episode. We hope that you feel inspired to push beyond your comfort zone. Maybe you watched today's episode and say, you know what, baby girl, I'm still not quite ready to get on the flight, but I can go 2 more states over. Okay. I can drive to Florida now and catch my cruise or whatever it is. You know, we really are glad that you guys support us, that you're here, you're listening with us, and participating in these really, really good conversations surrounding travel from a variety of different elements. We can't wait to bring you episode number 3 from season 2 next Friday on all the socials that Tia has already previously mentioned. So thank you guys so much. Keep your fear in. Don't limit your experience, you guys.
All right. See y'all next Friday. Bye.